Pitfalls of personal academic websites. Have you thought about an academic website? For many academics, the idea of a personal website is a nice one. For someone else, someone with time and skills. I'm Jennifer, the academic designer. I help people like you communicate how and what you do online. Welcome to my blog, The Social Academic. Here I share advice on managing your online persona and sharing your work effectively. I also interview amazing academics and researchers like you about their work. A surprising number of academic websites are outdated. Many are unmanaged. Some are not updated, lose their domain, or get malware. Why is that? Why are academics putting hours of work into something that helps communicate their work and then abandoning it? I've found 3 reasons why academic websites are drafted but not launched, unmanaged, or abandoned. A personal academic website is empowering. It has great benefits. Your website can help people understand your work, get to know you, and get in touch. It can present your work in ways the public and your personal connections can understand. To get the benefits, you need a website you can manage long term. You must avoid common pitfalls like lack of training, time, or funds. Most faculty aren't trained how to create an academic website or any website at all. They don't realize how much work goes into it. Often they don't account for the associated costs before starting. The lack of training and time often results in the loss of benefits. Benefits like engaging the public, media, and larger academic community. Because academics don't get the awesome payoff, many allow their websites to fail. This post is about how training, time, and funds should play into your thinking before you start your academic website. Let's talk about some of the skills you need to build a website. Website development and coding. If you're building your site, you need web development skills. If you're using a content management system like WordPress, you don't need quite as many of those skills. And if you use a drag and drop editor like Wix, you don't need any of those skills. You can also hire someone to set up the back end of a website for you. I recommend this for anyone deciding to self-host their website. Content for your website is a big project. Content needs to be prepared before you can design your website. Photos and headshots need to be selected. You need to write about your work in ways people can understand. And what information do you want to include? This is a time-consuming process people don't always plan for. Writing for the web is a lot different than academic writing. Online readers like shorter sentences with more paragraphs. This too takes time. Once the content is gathered, it needs to be laid out in ways a new visitor can navigate and understand. It needs to be properly mapped for Google or search engines and for people unfamiliar with you to find it. Sharing your academic website is a step some people forget. Once your website is complete, it needs to be shared. People need to visit it for you to get the benefits. Many people who start websites don't share them with their audience. I've even heard people ask if they should have an unaesthetic website as to appear not to care too much. Because academics tend to be wary of self-promotion, many academic websites don't get visited often. An unshared website is missing out on awesome benefits like reaching new audiences, getting students who actually want your course, updating your friends and colleagues what you're up to, and being approachable to funders and the media. Don't take on this project if you aren't ready to invest time in yourself, and this is a project for you. Time is the biggest issue when it comes for personal academic websites. Learning the skills above takes time. Implementing them takes more. There are videos that will show you how to create a website in a short amount of time, but how many of those websites still exist and are updated a few years out? Not as many as you'd think. No one is going to promote you right now, and no one is going to promote you without their own agenda except you. Academic work, research, teaching deserves to be seen and understood. The best benefit of a personal academic website is that by sharing some of who you are and what you do, people can understand you more. You've given them opportunity to get to know you a bit. Once a website is launched, if people don't see the benefits right away, they tend to stop updating it. And if they stop sharing their site, those benefits, they don't magically appear later. Time is needed after your website is launched to update the site, things like backend security, CMS, and plugin updates, and your site's content. You're not ready for an academic website if you aren't prepared to dedicate time each year for management, or prepared to hire help. The last reason personal academic websites are unmanaged or abandoned is funds. Websites don't have to cost money. For a $0 or low-cost website, you do the development, writing, design, graphic layout, and sharing of your website. There are annual fees associated with having a website, and those fees depend on how much work you're prepared to do yourself. We already talked about the management of the back end of your website and of your site's content. There are also costs associated with the host of your website and domain name. Do you have an academic website? I'd love to hear about your experience. Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for joining me for Pitfalls of Personal Academic Websites, Time, Training, and Funds. Are you ready for a personal academic website? This downloadable guide goes into more detail about the skills, time, and potential costs of your website. So join my community, The Social Academic, to get your guide now.